supports and extends what? Main idea. Now what is main idea? Now you can see here, this is MI, that is main idea. This is supported idea. This is extension of ideas. What are these things? Main idea means whatever you are up to. So for example, this is the format of the essay. This is introduction, this is BP1. In BP1, suppose that the question says mothers are better than fathers. Do you agree or disagree? Now you are going to write mothers, about mothers. So you are going to write what? Yes, mothers are better than fathers. So this is your main idea, that mothers are better than fathers. Now for supporting, you need some points. So those points which comes in your brain, you just try to brainstorm and you just write few points like, okay, what mother does? Mother takes care of the children. Point number 1, supporting idea. Second, feed the children. Point number 2. Third, study, help in studies of the children. So that is point number 3. So these are supported ideas which actually supports the main idea with the help of an example which is called as extension of ideas. So extension of ideas is nothing else but an example, right? So this is how you need to frame your answer and you need to put it here in the BP1. This is how your ideas are framed. But if you will not be doing it, definitely you will not be doing this as well. 1, 2, 3, which are this summarizes the task response. Nothing else is there in task response. One more thing I would like to tell you, that there is a thing called extension and there is a thing called, and make it very clear to you. Yes, the thing is that you need to well develop it. So when you are writing a main idea, supported ideas, you need to well develop it. That is one aspect of it. So sometimes people just write one line and do not describe it more, but you need to describe it more. That means, what I mean to say is that you should be a little extensive. I mean, whenever you will write, you will be writing, you should be extending the answer, well developing it. So this is all about task response. If you will be doing it nicely, you will be getting a 7 or 8 band. That is sufficient. Right? Let's move on to the next part, that is cohesion and coherence. Now, one more thing before that. If you are doing it in the best form, you will be getting a 9. If you will be doing a little lesser form, you will be getting 8. Lesser 7, lesser 6. That's simple. So if you will be getting 8 right here, that's good. Now, let's move to cohesion and coherence. Now, what is cohesion and what is coherence? Now, when it comes to cohesion, I simply tell people that cohesion is nothing but, syncing of your thoughts. Okay, it's like bringing all together all the things. Cohesion, dictionary meaning is there. That bringing all together all the things. What are those things? So, cohesion are done in terms of sentences. So, cohesion is done in terms of sentences. I will be rubbing this on, which will be not useful for you. Now, I will be telling you more about few things. I need some space. Okay. So now, we'll be talking about cohesion. What cohesion is? So in cohesion, there are 3 types of things are there in cohesion. First thing is cohesion among the sentence. I mean between the part of sentence. Like there is a sentence. Cohesion between this, in fact. Like for example, you will be saying that Ram is going to market. Then you will be saying Shyam is going to market. Now, alternatively, you can say that Ram and Shyam are going to market. So you are using a set of conjunctions which we call it as fanboys. Fanboys means for and not, but of yet so. These are the conjunctions. For and not, but of yet so. So whenever you will be connecting a sentence, I mean two different parts in a sentence, so you will be writing that Ram and Shyam are going to market. So and is what? It's a connector, it's a conjunction. So whenever you will be using conjunction and you will be joining 2 ideas together to form a sentence, that we call it as cohesion within a sentence. So first thing is cohesion within a sentence. Now next is cohesion between sentences. Now you will be saying that okay, Ram and Shyam are going to school. Ram and Shyam are going to school. Then they met Mohan. So apart from I mean, you will be saying it like this now. So Ram and Shyam were going to school or are going to school. Apart from this, Mohan was also coming to the school. Okay, something like that you will be saying. Okay, so Ram and Shyam are going to school, and apart from this, they saw Mohan also coming to school. So what is that? You are doing now. There is a cohesion between sentences. So when you use a phrase in the next sentence and you connect that sentence with the previous one, that is called a cohesive device, which is being used by you here to connect these two sentences. This is called cohesion between sentences. Now the third thing is cohesion among paragraphs. So among paragraphs, the cohesion means what? Like for example, you will be saying, on the one hand, mothers are better, and you are writing a theory about it in the BP1. And in the BP2, body paragraph, you will be writing what? On the other hand, fathers are also helpful. So on the other hand, you are starting the paragraph. So this paragraph is connecting to the previous paragraph and making a cohesion. That's why it is called cohesive device, which is being used for connecting these paragraphs. So this is a cohesive device again. So all those linkers, discourse markers, connectors, conjunctions, everything is nothing else but cohesive devices. So the more you will be using in cohesive devices, you will be using, the more number you will be getting. Now how I will be telling you. This is only the description of cohesion, how you do cohesion. So let's talk about that, how you will be actually be getting the marks in cohesion. Now for cohesion, there are some points as you can see here, which tells you that read for 7 man logically organizes information and ideas. There is a clear progression throughout. Means you should be logically representing your ideas. Logically you need to organize your ideas, and it should be sequential. Okay. Like for example, you have to go to your home. So what you will be doing? You will be getting out, you will be taking your vehicle, you will be starting your vehicle, then you will be going to home, parking it, and then you will be going up, right? You cannot say that you reach there, then you will be describing the story what happened. So that is not quite logical. That is not sequential order. So you should be representing everything in a sequence, in an order. So that is where logically you have to organize the thing which you are going to write in the BP1 or the BP2. Mainly it will help in BP1 or BP2. Okay. So this is how you organize the things. Now the next thing is, as you can see here, uses a range of cohesive devices. So I told you the range of cohesive devices means conjunctions, connectors, linkers, discourse markers, whatever you are using. Before every sentence I recommend to put a cohesive device. The more you will be putting it, the better your chances to get 8 band in this particular thing will become higher. So better is to put more number of cohesive devices in it. So the second thing is what? Cohesive devices. Use of cohesive devices. Now, if you will be using lesser, you will be getting less marks. If you will be getting more or in a better way, then you will be getting more marks. Next thing is presents a clear central topic of each paragraph. Clear central topic. So when you clearly mention that, okay, this particular paragraph is only for mother, and this particular paragraph BP2 is only for fathers. So that defines it that yes, you are understanding what is the central theme of the paragraph. You shouldn't do what, like people do what, they write about mother and suddenly they start writing about fathers in the same thing. Don't do that. There is a separate paragraph for that. If you will not be doing that, then you will be getting your score. So clear central topic should be there. Am I clear with this one? Okay. Let's move on to the next part. We call it as lexical resources. Lexical resources, generally people think that it is vocabulary, right? Well, they are right. Before that, I will be telling you how you get good or bad marks in the cohesion and cohesive devices. Cohesion and coherence. I skipped the coherence part as well. Okay, so the idea is this clear central topic. This one, and another thing, as you can see, it is like the paragraphing part. It's very important. If you are not writing it in the paragraph way, you should have a sequence and order and proper number of paragraphs which are actually demanded by them. So there are 4 paragraphs which you need to write in the entire essay. So this is that thing which is important. Okay, so this is, if you will be doing it in a better way, you will be getting a 9, 8, 7, 6 likewise. Let's move on to lexical resources. Lexical resources is nothing but vocabulary. As you can see in this one, okay, can you see this? Now, if you will be, there are 3 things I will be talking about here. First thing is related vocabulary. You should have good idea about related vocabulary, like if you are talking about travel, so you will be using travel related vocabulary. So theme based vocabulary should be there. Next is, you should know the use of collocations. What are collocations? The words which are being words or phrases which are spoken by the native speakers, native English speakers, they generally use those words, like bear a resemblance. Okay, is a cohesive, is a collocation. So those collocations you should be having some knowledge about. If you know the collocations well, then you have a chance of getting an 8 band very easily. I mean, in this particular part. Okay, so there is related vocabulary, and many people think that academic vocabulary is very important. I would say no. Academic vocabulary related to various types of things, jargons, you don't need much. You need related vocabulary more. The next thing is collocations, you need more. Now you can see, the next part is, you should not do any errors in spellings. So spellings, etc., these things would be right. Now, the better you will do, the better you will be getting. Like in the 8 bands, you can see, in the 6th band it says, uses an adequate range of vocabulary. In the 6 bands. 7th band it says, uses sufficient range of vocabulary. Right? Now, 8 bands uses a wide range of vocabulary. So what you will be doing? You will be using wide range of vocabulary. So the more you will do, the better you will get. Okay, now moving on to grammatical range and accuracy. So what is grammatical range and accuracy? People think that grammatical range is something related to grammar.
But it's not.
But it's not. Ironically, grammar, though it's very important, okay, but it accounts for lesser number of marks, I would say. So grammar is there, but that is for accuracy. Grammatical range and accuracy means, grammatical range means type of sentences which you are actually using to write your answer, and accuracy means grammar. So grammatical range, you should be talking, you should be using more number of different type of sentences. Like sometimes you will be using simple sentences, then you will be using compound sentences, you will be using complex sentences, you will be using compound, complex, other different type of passive sentence. You will be using different types of sentences. The more variety of these sentences would be there, you will be getting more marks in grammatical range and accuracy. But people think that it is only grammar, so they get confused. So they use prepositions and adverbs, adjectives clearly. That's okay. That is only account for 12.5%. What about the another 12.5%? That is only which is related to type of sentences. So, like for example, you will be saying that Ram and Shyam are going to school. This is what? This is a compound sentence. Then you will be saying, while Ram was going to market, while Ram and Shyam were going to market, they met Mohan. So what is this? You have used while. While is what? It's a character. So you are using a complex sentence. Or you will be writing that although Ram was right, or although it was raining outside, yet I thought to go outside. Although it was raining, yet I thought to go outside. That is what you have used the connector again. You have made it a complex sentence by using although, even though. So these all things are very essential in IELTS, particularly in writing and speaking. You should use always. Okay, so then you will be getting a better range, grammatical range. Now, the better you will be doing, the better you will be scoring. You are using a wide range or sufficient range or adequate range. That depends on you. Adequate range, sufficient range, wide range. Okay, so this is how you will be scoring. Now the moment you will be doing this, now you will be getting your scores, and finally that score will be getting accounted for your final score. Okay. So thank you everyone.